Let's see here. Give people the opportunity to feel superior. Some people will see an appeal to their self-interest as ugly and ignoble. They actually prefer to be able to exercise charity, mercy, and justice, which are their ways of feeling superior to you. When you beg them for help, they emphasize their power and position. They are strong enough to need nothing from you except the chance to feel superior. This is the wine that intoxicates them. They are dying to fund your project, to introduce you to powerful people, provided, of course, that all this is done in public and for a good cause. Usually the more public, the better. Not everyone then can be approached through cynical self-interest. Some people will be put off by it because they don't want to seem motivated by such things. They need opportunities to display their good heart. Do not be shy. Give them that opportunity. It is not as if you're conning them by asking for help. It is really their pleasure to give and to be seen giving. Daily law. You must figure out what makes others tick. When they ooze greed, appeal to their greed. When they want to look charitable and noble, appeal to their charity. This is from the 48 Laws of Power, law number 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. Let's do another. Infect the group with productive emotions. Infect the group with a sense of resolution that emanates from you. You are not upset by setbacks. You keep advancing and working on problems. You are persistent. The group senses this, and individuals feel embarrassed for becoming hysterical over the slightest shift in fortune. You can try to infect the group with confidence, but be careful that this does not slip into grandiosity. Your confidence and that of the group mostly stems from a successful track record. Periodically change the routines. Surprise the group with something new or challenging. This will wake them up and stir out of them the complacency that settles into any group that achieves success. Most important, showing a lack of fear and the overall openness to new ideas will have the most therapeutic effect of all. The members will become less defensive, which encourages them to think more on their own and not operate as automatons. Daily law. People are naturally more emotional and permeable to moods of others. Work with human nature and turn this into a positive by infecting the group with the proper set of emotions. People are most susceptible to moods and attitudes of the leader than anyone else. This is from the laws of human nature. Number 14. Resist the downward pull of the group. The law of conformity. Yep. Law of conformity. Give people the opportunity to feel superior. That first one's a good one. I like that. Give other people the opportunity to shine. It's a good way to hide your own. Not hide your own, but it's not good to always draw attention to yourself, I guess. Good way to put it. And you tend to make yourself a target. And that's not a good thing. I learned that at the first rescue I was at. I think that's one of the mistakes I made. Is I kind of stood out in a way that made me someone to be disliked. That was only because I was drawing a lot of attention. A lot of the volunteers and people liked me and my woman. And we just stood out from the rest. Lesson learned. The nail that sticks out gets hammered down. What they say. The moon is huge, and it's a nice big sliver. Kind of pretty. So I woke up late yesterday and jumped out of bed. And I had like a little over half an hour to make it to work. I think when I saw the clock, it was like 3. This is when I woke up and looked at my phone. It's like 3:20, I think. Something like that. It takes me about half an hour to get to work. I was like, oh shit, I gotta go. And I made it just with like about maybe like 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes to spare. That's about right. So I wasn't late. I wasn't really speeding. Just kind of, going my speed. But thank goodness the freeway was open all the way, because the last couple days or so I'd been taking the valley, the surface streets all the way across the valley, which in itself takes about half an hour. So it stretches what would be a half-hour ride to a 50-hour ride, because from my on-ramp at the end of the valley to work is about another 20 minutes. That's my 50-minute video. Thank goodness I'm able to take the freeway. And I was right, that sign is still up. Still says the 405 is not open, but the dates are way past. So I'm like, okay, well, it's got to be open because it clearly says the 8th. And yesterday I'm like, it's now the 9th. You guys shouldn't be there. And they were not. Thank goodness. Oh, man. So, got some new creamers for my morning coffee. And yesterday she had put 2 of them together. I told her, no, let's do them separate so I can give you like a real review of each one. I don't know which one this is, but this one is fantastic. So like, here's the sign still. It says 6'5" to 6'8", North 405 closed. It is the 10th, my friends. Whosever job it was to remember the sign, demerit for that gentleman. Or a woman, could be one. No need to be sexist. There should be female city workers. With all this DEI going on. So I think all that stuff's a bunch of crap. What women are out there are dying to be a city worker working on the freeway? It's a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, this creamer is fantastic. Let me see, what else? I don't know, that's about it. So I definitely got up on time today. I even turned up my alarm just a little bit to make sure I could hear it. Oh, and the reason I woke up late, that's funny, because my woman was on my phone. She forgot to put it, like, on the charger next to me. She always remembers. She just happened to not. And I remember waking up a couple times. 'Cause I wake up during the night. Like, it was a couple times I woke up because I always wake up before my alarm goes off. Like a little bit before, but then I go back to sleep. I thought it was one of those wake ups. It was not. It was like, you should be up by now. It was that kind of wake up. So I decided to get up, like, you know what? Well, I like rolled over and like looked over the side of the bed. My phone's normally right there. Just to check the time, and the phone's not there. I'm like, oh shit. Where's my phone? And I'm looking, and I normally have like a pair of shorts that I take off or just leave right there just in case I gotta put them on. And then the phone's not there. I'm like, oh shit. I shake my woman awake. Where's my phone? She jumps up, she goes and grabs it. And that's when I look at it, see the time. And I'm like half awake still, and it's like taking a little bit of time to register like what I'm looking at. Processing, like, okay, it says 3 something. And the funny thing is, like I said, I think it says 3:20, and I normally get up at 2:30, so my mind's like, wait a minute, trying to figure it out. And it's like, wait a minute, I gotta be there by 4. Oh shit, gotta go. But it worked out, everything was fine. I just hate being late. It's not a big deal. I mean, it is a big deal to me. Big deal. But I asked to come in extra early anyways, so it's like, man, I'm not actually late. My official start time is 6 a.m. I'm getting there at 4. So no one's going to say anything. It's not like I'm going to get in trouble or written up, but it's not the point. I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I'm going like a nice steady 65 right now. Yeah, I remember going back to that page I read about, like, drawing negative attention to yourself because you stand out too much. I mean, that's not what the page said, but that's like the inadvertent consequence of not doing what that page said. I remember at that rescue, there was some volunteers that bought me a pair of shoes. So I pointed out that I liked his. Like, oh, those are nice. And I don't remember if I did like a little session with them or not. Something happened. I forget what. But they bought me a pair of Ultra Boost. And I remember when they gave them to me, it was like in front of a couple other employees. One of these guys was like, why'd they get those for you? And I think it did do like maybe like they had adopted a dog, I think, and I gave them just like a little, a training session. How to handle the dog and how to, just how to behave with the dog so the dog remains behaved, pretty much. And I told him, and he's looking at me like with his face all twisted. I'm like, those are really expensive. I remember hearing him saying that, and I was like, well, whatever. And then I remember way later, remembering this instance, we were already out of rescue. But I remember that instance thinking to myself, yeah, that was like a little seed of hate right there, a little jealousy. Then I told off one of the donors. He was the founder's best friend. That guy was a douchebag anyway, so he deserved it. I bet no one ever talks to him like that, but I did. And he'll remember that. And I'm glad to give him the memory. That's only because he got pissed off at me too, because he walked in there like he owned the joint one day. I forget what, but I remember his energy when he came through the door. He looked like his energy was off. The dogs sensed it, and one of the little dogs, because it was kind of a free roaming. We used to have dogs like in the walkway, like we had pens where the dogs were in, and some of the littler dogs would be left out and around like where the office is, and kind of like a little free roaming area to a certain degree. And when he walked through, I think that they could sense that this guy's no good. Some of the little guys, the little dogs, like growled, like was barking at him. And I remember him getting scared. And he saw that I saw the whole thing happen, and it was kind of funny to see. I don't remember if I smiled or just kind of laughed, but I know he didn't like that. And he came at me. He was like, "You're supposed to be training these dogs." I'm looking around. I look around like at all the dogs, and I'm like, I'm kind of outnumbered. I don't have time for every dog here. And he just kind of gave me like this little look, like, okay. And I don't remember if it was that time or another time. It might have been the same time that he tried to tell me something else. But I told him something like, because he had some sort of glorified position at the rescue. Because he was like a donor and whatever, the owner's friend. He had some sort of something. I think. I might be wrong. But I remember telling him, you're only involved in this because you give money. Like, you're not here. You don't work here. You have no impact here. And I forget what it was over, but he pissed me off the way he came at me. And I'm like, I'm here every day. Every day. I open this place up and I close it down. I don't want to hear it. I'm the one getting bit. I'm the one breaking up dog fights. I don't want to hear shit from you. Just because you give money. And yeah, my paycheck's probably the money he's giving, but I don't give a fuck. I'm the one getting bit, and I'm the one doing the work. I earn that money. Not just given to me. So I told him as much. I think this was the same time that dog scared him. That's why he gave me that look like, okay. And not long after that, they let us go. But not before trying to frame us for stealing money, I think. Something like that. Some sort of weird circumstance. And obviously that's not true, because if it was, they would have been able to prove it, and there probably would have been severe consequences, but that never came to fruition, so obviously it wasn't true because it wasn't. But yeah, that's when after that whole experience, that rescue, looking back at it, I was like, okay, that whole place was a criminal enterprise, to be honest. That was like, that was a big money grab. And they were using dogs for the source of generating donation money. Because then I started putting all the pieces together, and I'm like, that's crazy. Every time the founder would go overseas to get the dogs, he was always getting supposedly beat up, money getting stolen. Like, oh, convenient. And then I'm later, way after this whole experience, I was putting pieces together, thinking like, this guy was on the dark web, and I can almost guarantee he was selling animal torture footage. Supposedly that was part of it, according to the founder, that they would torture dogs. But funny enough, somebody asked, I think one of the people from the facility that the owner opened up in China, the organization, the nonprofit, the rescue we were at, had its own facility in China. I'm sure my woman will correct me on all this if I'm wrong when I get home. But I believe that's the case. And I think someone had asked at one point if that's what they do to the dogs, and they were like, no, they don't torture dogs. I mean, we do kill them and eat them. That's just the source of protein for that culture. It's not a weird thing for them. It's like a chicken for us, dogs for them. It's not a back alley thing. Like, I think if I remember correctly, they were like, we don't torture dogs. That's when I was like, oh shit. I think this guy is having that done, and he's taking footage. There are people that will pay big money for animal abuse content. The sick underbelly of society will pay money for this stuff. So yeah, put all those pieces together, a lot of speculation in what I just said on some of it. Some of it's absolute fact. But the founder of that place had gone to prison. This is why I'm like, okay, this guy's criminally minded. I don't think I'm that far off with my speculation. And his best friend seems to have the same kind of mentality, but that guy, I believe, works in real estate. I don't know if he has a criminal background, but it wouldn't be hard to just get into real estate. And the founder, he himself, he comes from money. He's just kind of like rich kid who can pretty much do whatever he wants. I don't know how much of the money he has is his own money that he generated on his own. I mean, out here, I guess he has a couple businesses, or at the time, a business and a rescue. I don't know if he has anything else going on out here. I doubt it. But yeah, That's when I was like, nonprofits are a big shady business deal, or they can be used as that. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of good nonprofits out there doing good work. Marley's Mutts, for instance. I'll name them. Marley's Mutts is a good nonprofit organization. I'm pretty sure they're a 501c3. But because they'll take dogs and they'll take them into prisons. They have a prison program where they take them into the prisons and they have prisoners learn to train dogs. And it's a whole thing. It's actually a really, really good program. I really like how they did that. That's a good way to promote dogs. And then it's a good way to help rehabilitate, people who have gone astray in life. It actually gives them like a workable skill. Because if you see the videos of the prison program, these guys learn to train. They'll pretty much come out certified trainers when they get out, if they get out of prison. So they come out to a life where they can put it to use. Avoid the life they had before, which is cool. The founder of that program and of that rescue, Marley's Mutts, he's the one, I believe, that they made the movie Marley and Me out of. I think Owen Wilson was in that. He played the founder. And the movie's kind of cute, but I don't think they portray it like the real life. Because in real life, the founder was like severe alcoholic, like drinking himself to death alcoholic. And all of a sudden he found himself in the care of a dog, and he's like, shit, I gotta take care of this dog. So pretty much by learning to take care of a dog, he kind of realized, I can't take care of a dog if I'm doing this. So he kind of like started taking care of himself too, so he could take care of this dog, and it pretty much turned his life around. It's kind of like my story a little bit. I mean, my story is a micro version of that. I just had a revelation because of a dog, but this guy literally was on the verge of killing himself inadvertently just through the abuse of alcohol. And me, I would have done the same had I not. I could have taken a bad turn if dogs hadn't entered my life. Oh, come on, I see a little bit of road work. Please let my exit be open. Oh. Probably should have got off right there. Watch. Okay, the scales are definitely closed. Hopefully, my exit is open. Normally there's a sign it'll name my exit and say it's closed. But it just says the scales. Oh shit, is that a falling star? It sure is. That is cool. See, I think I could get over. But yeah, that was my whole experience and my thoughts on a little bit of my past life. Really, that whole experience turned me into a different person in a good way. Once I found this gear, I'm like, oh, I can apply this to anything, really. It's like first to raise my hand and volunteer and do something, or like, okay, that's hard, let's do that. Because I didn't have this gear before. Good, my exit is open. So I'm very much grateful for having had that experience, even though it like ended terribly. It was like something so beautiful turned out to be such a glorious disaster. That wasn't my doing. To be honest, I think that rescue that I was with wasn't as generating as much money as it used to. And I think they could just see like the funds were drying up and this was coming to a close. And that's just how it ended. Because it didn't last very long after we left, me and my woman left. It didn't last very long after that. And it is no longer around today, which is a shame. I mean, I guess that's not a shame, whatever. That's the karma of it. Yeah, it's me. There's a reason why Marley's Mutts is still going. It wasn't started with that kind of energy. I'm a big believer in that. All right. Another successful journey to work. And a trip down memory lane. And all right, right here, and let's go to work.